Hey, what's up, everybody? We're so glad that you're watching Open Mic with us today. My name is Coco, and we're here with Logan, Trevor, and Brooke. Man, we are so excited because, guys, it is the holidays. I don't know if you can see the trees around us, but we are living it up at High Street Church with all of the holiday decorations, the Christmas decorations. They are definitely Christmas decorations. But, guys, today we're going to talk about holiday heartbreak. And my first question for you, just right off the bat, is how do you guys feel about Hallmark Christmas movies?
Hate them.
Dislike them strongly.
Logan, what do you say?
I don't have the Hallmark channel, so
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Not missing
What?
much.
Lucky
I don't. Is it on YouTube TV? Maybe I do have it.
Maybe. Check it out. Emma would love it. I love a good Hallmark Christmas
You
cheesy
would.
movie.
You would.
I do. I'm like, I want to see them get together. I want to see the happy ending. So catch me trying to watch that. I watch it with my mom
Candace
sometimes.
Cameron Bure, right? That's her. She's in every one.
She has been for sure.
Yikes on bikes.
Man, well, glad to know that we have several haters for Hallmark movies that end happily. So
They're too predictable.
yeah, that's true. Kind of, I like it though. So guys, today we're talking about holiday heartbreak. Man, so many times during the holidays, I don't know if you guys feel this, but it's like we want it to feel like romantic. We see like couples getting together, going to Silver Dollar City, going on hot chocolate dates, all these things. And it's like, man, if we don't have that, I feel like oftentimes we want that. And then sometimes if we like get broken up during the holidays, it can just be hard. Logan, has this ever happened to you?
Man, I do have a story.
Tell us.
In high school, I had a girlfriend, and I bought her the Colby Calais CD. You know who Colby Calais is?
Sing a song.
She sings "Every Time I See Your Bubbly Face." That one.
I thought that was Natasha Bedingfield.
That's same thing but different.
Similar.
Same vibe but different. So I bought it for her at Walmart. Like you could buy a CD still. I don't know if I got her anything else. If I hope I
great
did,
gift.
but just a CD. She broke up with me before I could give it to her. So I gave it to one of my best friends, Eric Hedden, and I think he listened to it in his Camaro. So
I bet he loved that.
I re-gifted it. I didn't. I spread the wealth.
It didn't go away.
Yeah, didn't ever get to give it.
Pretty manly listening to Pocket Full of Sunshine in the Camaro.
That is
That's
Natasha
a great song.
Bedingfield.
That is a great song, though.
It's the wrong girl. Hey, Colby Calais has 9.7 monthly listeners on
You're kidding.
Spotify.
Still to this
yeah,
day?
to this day, I checked it.
Wow. Oh my goodness, I love it. Trev, what about you?
I'd never gotten broke up with around the holiday season, but a holiday or breakup story that's kind of sad. I broke up with a sweet girl over text. Wasn't working out. Didn't see it going anywhere.
That's how to do it.
I was like 17. Saw her the
All
next
right.
day, and I was like, I could see it in her eyes. She was sad. I was like, oh man, I done did it now. So I felt bad. Had a little hurt.
Yeah.
It was near a holiday. Of some, it wasn't Christmas, but
Man.
some holiday, maybe a bank
So
holiday.
you crushed her heart right before a holiday.
Yeah, federal
tough.
holiday.
A federal holiday. Makes it better, maybe. Brooke, what about you? Any stories like that?
I cannot say that I have a story like that. No Colby Calais re-giftings or breaking
Brooke
up with
probably
someone.
did the heartbreaking, so she doesn't
Probably,
care.
man.
Be blessed.
Okay, so on this topic of like holiday heartbreak, what would y'all say to the person who is single right now and they're like, man, I'm hoping to get asked out during the holiday season. It seems romantic. It seems exciting. But maybe it hasn't happened. Or maybe they just got broken up with and they're like absolutely devastated. What would you guys say to someone watching?
I think I would say a different thing depending on which situation. I would say to the person who's single and who longs for that, that's not bad. Like, I think we need to say that. It's not bad that you want to be in a relationship. It's not bad that you long for those things. And I know for my wife and I, that is a fun time of year to develop traditions and things. And so I don't think it's bad to want that. At all. But I think you have to be careful to not let it become an idol that either A, you cannot have happiness because you don't have that, or B, once you get that, you will truly be happy. I think the breakup is a different scenario. Maybe we can unpack that
yeah,
one
we'll
as
come
we
back
go.
to that one.
I think for the person that is single, and if you're longing for to be in a relationship, or especially around the Christmas season, because like it's fun to like have friends and things, especially maybe a significant other to hang out with during the season. You might choose the wrong person for you, and if you choose the wrong person for you, that is setting you up on a path that is probably not wise. That's going to lead, as the Bible says, if you're not on the path of wisdom, it's going to lead to destruction. So it might lead you to a little bit of destruction, a little bit of heartache, pain. There might be some hurt that develops within that relationship. So it's so important that like you stay focused whenever you are single and know that like, yes, it's great to have these desires, and I believe God gave us the longing to be with someone. Make sure you are still on the lookout. You got your vision on, you got your perspective on of a good significant other, and don't rush it.
Yeah, 1 Peter 5:8 says, "Be sober-minded, be watchful." Right? There's a reason you don't want to let your loneliness lead you to a place where you're going to do something that you regret to make an unwise choice. Brooke.
Yeah, I would say to the person who is single and longing to be in a relationship, I would just say to view your singleness as a gift. And I know that's like something that you always hear, especially if you are single, you're probably like, I'm so tired of hearing that. But truly, like, ask God to change your perspective because it really is a gift. And I think like whenever we are single, we have so much more time to invest in like our ministry. It's like, okay, I'm going to be able to like go get coffee with this girl, or that might not be something that I have as much time to do if I am married. Or there's like decisions that I'm able to make like independently that I can do for myself because I am single. And so I would just challenge you to like change your perspective, view it as a gift, but honestly ask God to help you view it that way too.
Yeah, I think that's so good. And I think that there's a lot of people that maybe are feeling this like, man, I'm single and I'm sad. Like, I'm just sad about it. And what I really appreciate is, there's a lot of girls in our community right now who are in my small group, and we get to hang out, and quite a few of us are single. And what's so cool, I've just learned so much because we've been able to have like fun Christmas activities, and we invite each other over to our houses. And it's just such a beautiful thing when we can let community in on that and be like, man, like that is a desire that I have, but I'm not going to waste my time and sit at home and be sad and watch the Hallmark movies. Instead, I'm going to be like, how can I serve other people during this season? And how can I bring people in who maybe are feeling a little bit sad? But it definitely can be a struggle. We just have to acknowledge that too, that it can be a struggle, and we have to get out of that and not allow that to like define this holiday season.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things Satan uses to rob the joy of whatever your season is, you're going to miss things from when you're single. You're going to miss things from when you're engaged. You're going to miss things from when you're married and you have no kids. You're like, the stages of life all have great things in them. And I distinctly remember one of the last Christmases I was single, I watched a movie at my parents' house on Christmas Eve. That was like tradition after the service. And then we would go and drive around town with my family, just to like, I would go with my dad and we would see how like empty the streets were. I don't know. But it's kind of a weird thing. But it was a thing that's like, I haven't done that since then because my stage of life changed. That's a great memory I have, and I'm so glad that I enjoyed that, and it's something that I look back on with fondness, but I could have just not done it and been sad. You know what I mean? But there's going to be things that are good no matter what season you're in, and Satan wants to rob the joy in that, but you can't let him have that victory.
I think you also the enemy like tries to play the comparison game with you. Like he's gonna put things in front of you that like you may like you're wanting a relationship, so he's gonna put people in your life, and not in a bad way, but like he's gonna like help you view other relationships. And I think we also have to like again be sober minded, but be watchful, but just be aware that like just because they're in that season, that's the season God has placed them in. In singleness, that's the season God has placed me right here and right now. So like you get to take advantage of it, like of your singleness. Like you get to take advantage for your ministry, maybe hanging out with family, the traditions that you're not gonna get to have once you move on.
Yeah, I think to piggyback off of that, Psalm 84:11 says, "The Lord does not withhold good from those whose walk is upright." And so understanding like I am in this season for a reason, and I know that's another like phrase that kind of gets like tossed around a lot, but like understanding like, okay, Lord, I know that the Lord has me in this spot like for a reason, and I'm going to see that as a gift, and I think that it changes your perspective for sure.
Yeah, and I think the enemy wants us to be bitter and upset and angry that we don't have what we want. And we, like the message on Sunday, our pastor talked about how are we going to be upset with God when he doesn't give us what we want, when ultimately we need more of Jesus is what we need. So if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're like, man, I am single and I'm struggling because that's not where I want to be, one of our encouragements would be like, hey, like spend time with Jesus, bring these things to him, and then don't allow yourself to live in that spot of bitterness and anger and sadness and all this stuff, because that will determine like how you view your life, how you're doing your thing. And so I would say definitely spend time with God and let people in on how you're feeling.
Because a relationship ain't going to fulfill you.
It's
The
not.
only thing that can fulfill you, as we know, is Jesus.
Yeah, for sure. That's good. That's
Jesus
good.
is the reason for the season, and also, wait, Jesus is the reason for the season. You said something, Brooke. I can't. I'm
The reason I'm in this season.
the reason. There's
No,
a reason
There's
you're
a
in the
reason
season.
that you are in this season.
We
yeah,
got it,
yeah.
we got
I
it.
was trying to be really
was
clever.
Jesus
Yeah.
is the
Right,
reason
Jesus
you're
is
in
the
this
reason for the
season.
season,
That's
and then
good,
there's a
that's
reason
good.
you're in this season.
Yeah.
I think it
Alone.
clicked.
It all
That's
comes
good.
back to
I
Oh
like
man,
it.
if only I could have got that the first
I know, that
time.
would've been
That would've
really- that would've been good.
Not a
we
problem.
gonna talk a
we
little
gotta talk
breakups?
heartbreak. Yeah, we gotta talk
Talking
heartbreak.
some breakups.
Yep.
One of the best pieces of advice I would give that I received whenever I went through a breakup was our college pastor at that time. He told me, he said, "Hey, just give it a month and don't communicate with that person."
Yes.
And that was the best decision that I could have ever made. I would have not thought of that on my own, because what do you want to do? You want to call, you want to text, you want to, contact them in some way or see them. And a lot of times what that does is it just brings up the hurt and the pain again. So what would be best, I think, that I would encourage anyone who's just went through a breakup, give yourself a month. Don't reach out. Don't call. Don't text. If they contact you, I don't think it's inappropriate to respond and say, "Hey, I'm taking this time." I don't know that you have to, but it's good to take some time to add clarity to the situation, because what I found is oftentimes you're so chasing the comfort of being back in that relationship that you're actually missing the clarity that you need to make sense of what's happening.
Yeah, and I think setting up emotional boundaries, it's something my wife always is telling girls, and like whenever they kind of break that, you see the effect that it has, because they're maybe going back to maybe a place that's comfortable for them, but it's not like the path I think God has them on in life. And so setting up boundaries has to be so important whenever you go through a breakup, or maybe things didn't work out, because honestly, it's going to help you seek God and seek His will for a situation. It's going to allow you to see some vision. Is this like someone that I need to be in a relationship of this stature with?
I think another thing too is like seeing it as God's grace. Like, yes, I think it's one thing to sit in it and understand that like going through a breakup is hard. Like, it is hard, and like not discounting that at all, but seeing it as like, okay, God, I see it as your grace. Help me to see it as your grace. And then stepping into that single season with your community, and like relying on the people, like Coco said, of like, okay, who else is like single that I can bring in on this with me? But that'd just be what I would say too.
Yeah, I think it's helpful to remember that like our relationship status does not define us. That really helps me, because oftentimes we can be like, well, I'm single and it's tough, but it doesn't define us. Like, we have to like rise above that, and it's super super hard, especially when you're actively going through a breakup. Like, that is not a fun time at all. But I think it allows us to be more dependent on God and seeking Him more than we are seeking that relationship. And I just have to trust that God is sovereign, and He is going to, like, His plans will prevail. So if He wants you to be back with that person that you're worried about right now, like, He will make it happen. Like, He's going to do it. So I think remembering that God is sovereign, and that is a good thing.
As Natasha Bedingfield would say, the rest
she
is
say?
still unwritten. Come on, Trev. Come on, Trev.
there
I want you to know
it is.
Natasha
Good.
Bedingfield does not have as many monthly listeners as my girl Colby Calais does.
Man.
So,
man.
surprise. I've not listened to either of them in a long time. But also,
Maybe I
for
will.
those of you listening, looks like there's a Christmas album out there for Natasha Bedingfield as well.
Really? And Colby
Wow.
Clay.
Love it.
Great. I love it.
Wow.
So any other thoughts on this holiday heartbreak? What would you say to somebody who's currently going through it? What piece of encouragement, advice? What would you say?
I don't want to take away from a heartbreak that you might have gone through this holiday season, but maybe take the focus off yourself a little bit. And I'm not saying that in a way to get down on yourself, but see how much good there is in this season, that maybe you are going through something hard. You have to find the joy in every circumstance. And I think that will add so much peace. That will help take your mind off maybe a tough situation, your relationship. And I think that will also help you in your setting up your emotional boundaries, that if you get your mind off the situation, maybe like filling your mind with things that are good, true, the things that Paul talks about in Philippians, that's going to help you so much in this season of dealing with heartbreak. And Again, I don't want to sound mean, but take the focus off yourself a little bit. Think of the good things that are around you.
Yeah, I would kind of add another perspective to that too of like maybe this is like your time to start serving more in the church, or maybe it's time to start adding more disciplines to your routine. But also just like understanding, again, like as Coco was saying, God is sovereign, and if the Lord has marriage for you, you don't have to manipulate that, and it's going to come at like just the right time. And so I would just use your singleness well, look for areas that you can serve more in the church, and maybe pick up on some more disciplines.
And one of the things, like you said, Trevor, like it's easy to make jokes about relationships and things, but like it does hurt and it's not fun to go through. But you've got to lean in during the hard times. And that's not just in terms of relationships or whatever, but if you're going through a breakup and it hurts, lean into God and lean into the truth of his word and allow this season to refine you. What does James 1 say? That the testing of our faith can produce perseverance. So you've got to make the choice that you're going to allow this situation to develop perseverance in your life, and you can come out on the other side better. The worst thing that I see happen is when I see a breakup happen amongst a couple and one of the people goes MIA and they're off the map. No one knows how they're doing spiritually. Don't do that, because that's what Satan wants for you. He wants to isolate. That's the worst thing you could do after a breakup, is just to go MIA, cut everybody off, and just, be like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's good. And that's a great reminder that, like, when you are in a relationship, man, it's so important to keep friends and community around you, because oftentimes we see people who get in relationships and then you're like, never see them anymore. They're not hanging with us. Like, they're doing their own thing. And then when something like this happens, like a breakup, then it is like, they're still gone, and the friends are like, wait, what's happening? So like, stay in community, stay rooted in community, because we do think that will serve you well in whatever season you're in. Like, we talk about that often here at Young Adults, because we think that is so important to stay in community. And if you're struggling, like, reach out to a trusted friend who could help you as you're going through this heartbreak, because if you're trying to do it alone, like, that's going to be really tough. But there's people around you that want to come alongside you and help point you to Jesus. So I think that's really
I just feel like I
important.
need to make a public apology for how bad I botched that Jesus is the reason for the season, and there's a reason you're in this season
my gosh.
earlier. I tried. It
You
was an
tried. It
It
attempt.
came full circle. It's
Yeah.
all
It
right.
came full circle.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Okay, so,
That's still
there's probably
written.
people out there that are dating right now too. So I feel like we should end this podcast with maybe a fun date idea for the Christmas season.
Where you mentioned a hot chocolate date? Where does one do a hot chocolate date? I didn't know that was a thing. That's
I
cool,
was
though.
just personally thinking, like, you get hot chocolate, you go look at lights. So you could get hot chocolate at McDonald's,
Goat.
Starbucks,
Goat hot chocolate.
from McDonald's.
Little hot.
Yes, I had it last year actually for the first time. But yeah, you could get hot chocolate if you live in Springfield. The Bagwell lights are kind of fun. You have to wait in a long line, but that's part of the
Great
fun.
conversation time in the car.
Great
Yeah, yeah.
conversation. Yes, so you could do that. Silver Dollar City. What other things, Trev? You're newly married.
Yeah. Hey, go build a gingerbread house. That's something my
Gingerbread
wife
house
is wanting to
fun.
do, and we're gonna do it. I'm gonna have a smile on my face. I'm gonna build
Yes,
a
you
good
are.
gingerbread house.
I don't want to do
I
that.
love
I'm sorry. Oh, I hope my wife does not listen to that.
Oh my
idea.
god.
100%. I bet she got it from her.
You never know. Any other ideas for dates? Nope. Logan? Nope.
I don't think so.
No. Okay. I love it. Well,
Get creative, guys. Grab your
get
people.
creative. Yeah.
Go on a group date.
Yeah. If you're single, ladies, grab your girls and go do something fun that is related to Christmas. We just had like an ornament making thing. We made Christmas cards. I'm not even crafty, and I was into it. I was like, pass me the glue. I'm making this card. So do something fun and bring people into it. But we're so glad that you guys are here watching Open Mic with us. We hope this is encouraging for you. We'll see you next time.